Hello, and welcome to the Don't Tell This podcast, a sports betting podcast that truly despises Carson Wentz. I'm your host, Al Manarino. With me is my co-host, and I forgot to write a segment for him. It's Mr. Ben Murkison. Ben, what's going on?
I mean, I also think that they needed to take Carson Wentz out of that game at least by the fourth quarter, if not before. Like, this is literally what happened to Apollo Creed. You just should have stopped the fight. I know that he wants to stay out there because it's probably the last time he's going to start a game in prime time, but the man was literally about to die on the field, like multiple times. That was absurd and reckless by the Vikings to leave him out there that long.
He was so injured. And yeah, it was incredibly reckless. Like, I still don't understand what this injury is with JJ. Like, he was suited up. He was the emergency backup. The backup looked like a middle school, like, Make-A-Wish kid who...
Did you play football in high school? I was a kicker.
Like,
perfect. Get in there.
Perfect. You're the backup quarterback now. Yeah, the third string quarterback looked absolutely scared to be out there. And I think that's why they didn't put him in. But man, Carson Wentz, I thought was going to die on the field.
Yeah, almost did. And yeah, I mean, obviously it butchered our parlays, anything that we wanted to have happen. But aside from that, it was bad for him. I felt bad for the guy out there.
Yeah, like, we've talked about, or I've specifically talked about teams that I'm trying to avoid. And I believe the Vikings have now been added to that list just for now, in the sense of, like, Carson Wentz is playing. No, I'm out on the Vikings right now until this changes, right? So to go over our Thursday night parlay quickly, the only line that hit was OG, who hit for 43.5 receiving yards. I failed to take that line separately, but after his first pass, I took a bunch of alt lines, and then he got a bomb thrown to him, and it was like he had like 77 yards going into like the third quarter, or like the beginning of the second quarter. And I was like, I think I could hit at least 100 yards. No. So I should have cashed out. I would have made like $80. No, I lost everything, every bet that we made, every parlay, because they included some Vikings lines, and the Vikings lines were terrible. Jordan Addison did not hit his receiving yards. Jordan Mason, both Jordans, failed us. He did not hit his rushing yards. He didn't get a rushing touchdown for me. That was one of my lines.
He was like -1 yards into the fourth quarter or something.
It was bad. It was really bad. They couldn't get anything going, really, besides a couple like chuck passes to JJ. The only line that hit was Gadsden over 43.5 receiving yards. So 1 for 4 out of those picks of the parlay. I don't think it's even worth mentioning any other lines. I mean, Keenan Allen didn't hit either. You would think he would have hit. He got targeted. I think he had like 4 catches.
Yeah.
And he still didn't hit his receiving line. He wouldn't have hit his reception line. They still murdered the Vikings, but they didn't do it really with didn't do it with QJ. I have him in fantasy. He had 0 fantasy points. That was fun.
Ladd McConkey.
So
we
Ladd
picked the wrong
McConkey,
double
luckily,
D. Wrong double D from the All Day Parlay last week. We should have gone with Ladd. Even Justin Jefferson came close to his line, but didn't hit it. So they're really
didn't hit.
I don't see any world in which we would have hit the parlay yesterday, to be honest.
Yeah, we had no shot almost from the jump. There was a moment right in the beginning where it looked like Herbert threw a pick and it was reversed, and then he just started this like crazy drive. I think his first 2 drives led to scores, and it was like a bloodbath. They had opportunities, the Vikings. It's just Carson Wentz and that offensive line. I'm blaming everything on Wentz, but like I really thought they were just like, oh, we don't like this guy. We're just gonna let him get murdered.
It was like 3 and out after 3 and out. Almost all of them included the sack. Like it was just they were starting like 2nd and 14 on every possession. It seemed like, so it was crazy.
Yeah, it was another pretty bad Thursday night football game. I know we've had a couple good ones, but this one was truly atrocious from a betting standpoint, even from just a watchability standpoint. Like by the end of by like the middle of the third quarter, I was like, I'm going to switch to NBA. At least the NBA is entertaining. Joker's playing. Let me go watch that instead. So yeah, Thursday was rough. Let's get into part 2 of our week 8 parlays. We're going to go into a full Sunday slate. We have 3 bets that we have put together. 1 p.m., 4 p.m., and 8 p.m. And if you don't already know, sometimes we don't have lines available for us on Monday Night Football. So make sure you follow us on social at Don't Tail This on Twitter and Instagram for our Monday night slip, as well as all of these slips that we're going to be talking about. So let's jump into our 1 p.m. 4-leg parlay. Ben, who is your first pick?
Yeah, I'm just going to caveat real quick. Remember, we're also going to do the all-day parlay, and we're going to talk about it on the podcast and not forget, so that I don't do that. And yeah, the second reason I don't want to talk about Monday Night Football is because my team is playing it and it's going to make me sad. So moving into
100%.
1 p.m., why stop? We said we're going to keep going with a couple of these lines. Booty, 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 rocking everywhere. Mr.
That's
Kayshawn
right.
Booty, over 29.5 receiving yards over this
I
line
don't
of 5
understand.
games.
Why is that
Uh,
line 29.5?
I don't know. Like, it's weird. I think it must be something to do with his receptions total because he never gets more than like 5 catches. So you're relying on him to get a decent amount of chunk yards on each one. But he's averaging like damn near 18 yards per catch. So, yeah, Drake May continues to have a good year, but he's like a huge part of that jump. I mean, he's the second leading receiver on that team now. So, yeah, not gonna go away from Booty as long as he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah, especially with 30 yards. I mean, that's what, 7.5 a quarter? Like, it's really not a huge I had to think about it. I was like, "That's not, terrible."
Quick
The
math, good job, Al.
Yeah, I think another reason the line is so low is because they are playing the Browns. The Browns defense has been pretty strong this season,
There, yeah.
obviously. But, they're talking Drake May MVP, like,
Well,
odds
let's
right now,
slow
like,
down on
which
that, but yeah,
well, he's like the third favorite last time I checked. So, yeah, I can't see him not getting that, but also we've seen weirder things happen.
true.
And that was one of my picks, by the way.
I'm sure it was. I think we have
Um
at least 2, if not 3 overlapping picks on this 1 PM slate.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna just go to the obvious ones. All right, I'm picking Bijan Robinson over 36.5 receiving yards. It has to be done now, and if you even think about saying, "How about his total yards?" I'm going to shut the podcast off. Not because I don't think he's gonna hit it, it's gonna be a game where he probably will hit it.
They're playing the Dolphins.
They're playing the Dolphins, so this is a
Yeah.
they have, like, the worst run defense in, like, the league. So, I can understand him hitting it. It's just, like, he is, like, one of their best receivers, if not their best receiver besides Drake London.
He's Yeah, he's the second leading receiver on that team.
Mm.
I may come to a shock to you, but I also have his receiving line at 36.5 as the one that I wanted to
Whoa!
play. And I also would feel really good about his total. I didn't just say it because I thought you'd give me shit. He's getting like 8 targets a game right now in the passing game. My concern with the total is because they're playing the Dolphins, and it's very likely they're not going to need him to produce anything in the fourth quarter. So I'm scared that like it'd be one of those scenarios where he's got 100 yards and then they just take him out. Yeah, I'm fine with taking his receiving yards because that's something he can hit in the first quarter.
Fantastic. Alright, so, yeah, that was my pick, and you also had that pick too, so
Well, do
it's
we
back
want to
to
say
you.
the next? Do we want to say the next automatic pick at the same time?
Are we just gonna use the letters? Alright. 3,
Yeah,
2, 1. CMC.
CMC.
Ah, damn it. So close.
Yeah. Over receiving, 43 and
Yeah.
a half is the line that I saw him at on DK. So yeah, he has never failed us. I'm sure it'll happen at some point. Hopefully not this week, but I don't think we even have to talk much about it. He's just an auto play. CMC over receiving, whatever that number is, plug him in.
It would be crazy if we can go 4 for 4 with our picks without going into the rest of them. Like, I'm honestly kinda scared right here. Here's my next pick. I wanna know if you had this one too. I have Jamar Chase over 88.5 receiving yards.
I don't have him as somebody
No!
different, but there was the potential
Ugh.
that I thought we would overlap. And Jamar was somebody that I looked at. His
Ugh.
line was, I wanted him like low 80s. And I think, what do you say it was? 87 or something like that.
88.5. Here's
Yeah.
here's here's how I'll sell you. They're playing the
Okay.
Jets.
Oh yeah. But you could
That's
also
it.
anti-sell
End
me.
of the conversation.
They could be up 28 to nothing in the second quarter against the Jets too. I'm scared. I'm
Probably
getting
from
more
Jamar
scared
Chase.
whenever, yeah. I mean, he could have that number for sure. I'm just getting a little more scared when they're playing the shittiest teams in the NFL because I've
Mhm.
had a few too many bets to be like, well, they're not going to throw anymore because they're up like an absurd amount of points already. And yeah, the Bengals offense since Joe Flacco took over has had a renaissance. Obviously, that's benefited Jamar Chase, but yeah, they might be too good at this point to play that to play them. So yeah, that could be rough against the Jets. But okay, so my fourth pick, I do like that one. He was probably my alt
Okay.
one.
Okay.
I might have your alt one. I thought we might be on the same thing, but Scatabo over 57.5 rushing yards. My
Okay.
mindset is you got to fight Philly with Philly, and Scatabo is like the most like absurd personality, like type of Philly guy that you could see, like
Mhm.
just doing damage in the streets. So yeah, Scatabo, he had a great game last time against him. I think he went for over 90 yards. I wanted to kind of check Jackson Dart, but just looking at the rushing lines for both of them, I feel like Scatabo is an easier number to kind of hit for what they're going to want to do with that game plan. And yeah, he played so well last time. I just feel like this is going to be another game. He talked about like the way that we played tonight. Obviously, they didn't necessarily follow it up perfectly with Denver, at least in the fourth quarter, but he said the way we played is the way that we are, and I believe him. I think that he's gonna continue to be successful, so, yeah, I like Scatabo against Philly.
Okay, I can't ever go against Scatabo, who I love.
Scatabo.
I'm just really scared of the Giants going back against Philly, right?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing is like they've now have tape on him, literally against
Yep,
Scatabo, against Dart.
the tape on him could just be, like, a guy randomly running into a brick wall. There's no, like
Yeah, they're
he's
like,
just gonna
listen,
seek out contact.
exactly. So I had his receiving line. I
Mhm.
did like his receiving line at 20.5. We still don't have any receivers, really. And I also like Dart's rushing. However, I kind of might just want to avoid the Giants altogether because they've given me such heartbreak, especially last week. That was like one of the worst experiences of my life watching that game. So I have
Yeah.
another one that I want to talk about. It's actually two, and I'm kind of want to get your
Right?
opinion on which one you would
Are you
want to
giving me
go with.
6 picks here? Al, what are we
I'm
doing?
giving you 15 picks. I'll give you every pick. All right. So an angle that I want to go is Josh Allen off a bye against the Panthers. No Josh Palmer, which is the first thing I would have went to, right? Because it's going to be like low total. One pass gets it. Like I'm in. It's Josh Allen off a bye. You know that they're going to be, itching for some wins. It's the Panthers. This is kind of like, I wouldn't say it's a trap, but I would say it's like you need to win this game against the Panthers. I wanted to go a receiver. I do like Shakir. I don't know if you want to start talking tight end day, but like Kincaid is going to be back. He's had extra rest. That is one of his guys. His line's 42.5. Shakir's 46.5. How do you feel about any of these Bills receivers going into this week?
Well, I mean, I kinda tried to play like the Bills would be angry coming off a loss angle last time that we bet the Bills, although I thought it'd be more of the running game because that's what I think they do best. So I thought you were gonna speak about Josh Allen's, like, rushing line or, like, a rushing touchdown or something like that, but,
Mhm.
um, yeah, I mean, I don't know, the Panthers are playing surprisingly inspired football right now. They're not gonna have Bryce Young, it doesn't look like, in this game, so I don't know about anything from their offense standpoint. I don't know if they'll be down like a lot of points to the Bills, which would prevent, it could be one of those things where the Bills are up a lot of points just because of that. I don't know. I stayed away from that game entirely. Like I didn't make any picks. I mean, I only did four like we're supposed to. I didn't go into deep dives, but you know,
I mean, I'm just the only one I'm worried about is Scattaboo. So, like, I don't know if you or feel comfortable enough to put Chase. I was thinking if you wanted to pivot and go to something lower-ish, like Jamar Chase again is 88.5. We'd have to be kind of searching for it, but like we have to remember it is the Bengals are going against the Jets. Like the Bengals still aren't a good team, like all around. Their defense is still very much in on the struggle bus. So not that the Jets are going to put up a ton of offense, but do you think it's going to be like a blowout? No, I don't think so.
no, I'm okay with that line. Honestly, the chase line was like my B probably as far as like my fourth most
Yeah.
confident thing. It was the first thing that I looked for, and like really my discrepancy was like I was hoping for a low 80s number, and it was a high 80s number. So maybe we
We
can
could
chop
pi-
it too. Like it may change, a little bit, but or you could
do you
alt
want
it
to
down to 80 yards.
I've never heard of that. We can do you want to we could pivot to T Higgins.
I mean, you could.
He's like 44.5, I think last time I checked.
What has he had the last couple of games since Flacco's been the quarterback?
I think they isn't it only been one game since they've been back.
He's
It
been out there
feels like
twice.
more, but I
Well,
think it was only once.
so I mean that's
And I'm also surprised you didn't talk about Zay Flowers with Lamar being back.
I did. I did look at that. I didn't talk about it again because I only wanted four lines, and I picked my four most
What do you mean?
confident now. I'm trying to keep it a concise podcast here.
To answer your question, T. Higgins had 96 yards, 10 targets, 6 receptions against the Steelers, and then even before that, in a loss against Green Bay, he had 62 yards on 8 targets, 5 receptions.
Okay.
Oh, that was the Flacco.
Um,
Sorry, that was the yeah. You're right. It's 2 Flacco
yeah,
games.
he's
So
played
Green
two
Bay they
games.
lost, and then he beat the Steelers. Yeah. So I mean
All
I'm
right.
I'm cool with
I'm
T.
also
Higgs.
fine with T. Higgins. I would have been fine with Jamar Chase too. So whichever one you feel best about. But I'm okay with the Jamar Chase line, honestly. I had a little bit of trepidation with it, but I do think he'll probably get it. But yeah, I'm okay with if you want to play the safe route and go T. Higgins too. I think Flacco's going to have a hell of a game here, so I expect him to throw for 300 yards plus.
Does it make you feel better that Jamar Chase went down a yard? It's 87.5 now.
Ooh, so much better.
All right. So 1 p.m. we have Kayshawn booty rocking everywhere over 29.5 receiving yards. We have Jamar Chase over 87.5 receiving yards, Bijan Robinson over 36.5 receiving yards, and Christian McCaffrey over 43.5 receiving yards. The only problem is we can't include Bijan and Christian McCaffrey in our all day. We'd have to pick one or the other.
I mean, we can do whatever we want, Al, but let's see if there's another guy that we feel confident about.
No, the all day is supposed to be one from one from
I
four,
know
one
what
from
it's
eight.
supposed to be, but I also like to win money. So
I, then do it more often.
I know. Oh, trust me, I already have a ticket out there. I've bet all of my 4 lines, and I've also gone through and bet the 3 most confident things. And yes, I did have one that was Christian and Bijan, but we can do it all day that doesn't have both. I think we have to go with Christian, honestly. But
Yeah.
all right, 4
all right.
p.m.
4 p.m. parlay. 4 legs.
4 p.m. parlay.
Let's go with you since I said a lot.
I'm not playing football now. Okay, let's go with my picks. Cade Otton, over 39.5 receiving yards.
My first goddamn pick.
At least 5 targets every game right now. He's gone for well over 50 the last 3 games. Wide receivers come and go for the Buccaneers, but Cade Otton is forever. So I would like to continue to go with him. I've kind of thrown his name out there a few times. I'm not sure we've actually included him in a parlay yet. So now's his time to shine. Cade Otton to get at least 40 yards receiving.
I love it. It was my first pick, so I'm pivoting.
Beautiful.
I'm trying to pick up other ones. Okay, so all right, let's go national tight end day. I'm going Jake Ferguson over 41.5 receiving yards.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have I believe it is the Cowboys and the Broncos. Yeah,
That is
Cowboys,
correct.
Broncos. Their whole offense is it's throw the ball to everyone. Dak is obviously having a great season with CD and Pickens as like some of the bigger targets. But you've talked about Ferguson, I think, a bunch on this podcast, you specifically, trying to convince me to use him in parlays, and we really haven't much or at all. And he's been doing so well that he's actually the second leading receiver. Obviously, CD missed a bunch, but his last game against Washington, he only had 29 yards. Before that was 33 yards. Before that was 49 yards, 40 and 82. So it doesn't sound great on paper, but I'm going the tight end angle. So
I was going to say, the only reason you're playing this one is because it's tight end week. That's
it's
the only reason.
National Tight End Day, tight end week. Yeah, because the other tight end that I was targeting for this week, we've used a bunch.
Tyler
Hit
Warren.
or miss. It's Tyler Warren.
He's one of my picks. I like Tyler Warren over 59
I had him
receiving yards.
highlighted.
I mean, he's the leading receiver on like the, what are they now, 5-1 Colts.
Yeah.
The rookie's insane. He's the leading receiver by a large margin. He's getting I think it's like 60, over 60, like 63 yards per game. So, I mean, it's right there at his line, but there's been a few games that he hasn't hit, but those because he was kind of coming off an injury and not 100%. You obviously are on the risk.
That's not true.
Instances.
Not true. And here's the reason why.
There's 2 reasons.
I didn't pick him. What's the other reason?
The
Tell me
Colts
the
are
other
winning by
reason.
so many points that they don't have to score anymore. So they just like.
And who are they playing?
They're
playing the Titans.
They are playing the Titans. You're right.
He could have 3 touchdowns and 5 yards. Like they're atrocious. I'm just worried about like literally them pulling the starters at halftime if they're going to keep putting up offenses like this.
I mean, that's Jonathan Taylor is having one of the best seasons of our running back ever, and we've only used him one time because like they were so good that he didn't have to play the fourth quarter, so you can't even go back to him because his line's always like 90 yards.
I would take Jonathan Taylor 3 touchdowns over his rushing line. Like that's how bad it's gotten in the sense of like, he's so good, and if they're playing shit, this is like the last shit team that they're playing for the rest of I think they have the hardest schedule after the Titans game. So like I would back Warren up. I would back Taylor up the next week or, whatever, the next rest of season because they're going to actually have to keep these guys in the game. I mean, look who they played the last couple of weeks. It's Vegas, Arizona, and then surprisingly the Cardinals, who I think he had 2 good games against Arizona and I'm talking myself into it. Let's just go Warren. Fuck it.
Yep. And then if we want to include, I got 2 other lines. Like another one as far as a receiving line for that Buccaneers game that's not Ibuka. Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard,
Oh,
like
he was
I
there.
mean, he's consistently somebody that I like. Although I'm going back to his receptions well at over 3.5. He had 7 catches on 7 targets last week, but it was for only 25 yards, which is absurd. So they dump it off to him a lot. He's the safety blanket, kind of like Kate Otten, usually a tight end is for Baker Mayfield, but Sterling Shepard and him just have a lot of rapport too. So it's kind of also that safe play for me. So anytime I can get his receptions line for under 4, especially coming off of a 7 catch game, I like it. And then another guy from, a game, it's not a tight end, obviously, but the Cowboys offense, even though CeeDee Lamb is back, I'm still on the George Pickens train
Pickens train. Yeah,
over
same.
over 57.5 receiving yards. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson in the same spot got 95 on Denver secondary last week for your guys. So he's gone over the line 5 out of 7 times. He's having a Pro Bowl year with or without CeeDee Lamb. If anything, I think CeeDee Lamb helps him like in that offense. So yeah, still love George Pickens.
I had Pickens. I had Warren. I had Tez and Igbuka. Igbuka's line, as we said last week, ballooned. It is now 76.5. He probably still will crush it, being the new wide receiver 1 for the team. I just don't want to really touch it at 76.5 just because of what we saw from Baker last week and throwing, balls over heads. I'm a little scared on that. We haven't mentioned the Broncos at all. The only line that I was like loving was Bo Nix over rushing, over
Yeah.
23.5 rushing yards. So just to give a little context there, we know that the defense for the Broncos is not great as a whole. I know that it's the passing attack or their secondary is kind of their weak point. But Bo Nix has been rushing a lot more against the Giants. Last week he had 48. And then Jets 24, Philly 22. His line is only 23.5. It's kind of right at what his like average is. So I would say that's one that I was considering from that game. But if you're not in love with any of the
Consider.
Broncos line, yeah. Did we
Could
did we
be.
miss a game? Did we miss a game from that slate?
There's just 3 games, I think.
No, yeah. It just feels
They were
like
just the
not a
most.
lot.
I know. Yeah, well, 4 p.m. is always light, especially when they keep doing like all these double Monday Night Football games, which is not this week, but
Yeah,
there's also a lot of buys. So
ton of
we were
buys.
both on Kate Otten, so I think we want to
Correct.
play him. We were both on George Pickens, I believe.
Correct.
I think I
And
kind of
Tyler Warren.
talked you into Tyler Warren. Okay.
I already had them written and highlighted,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
just was trying to
So we got
talk
those
myself out of it.
3. So those 3, and then who would we want to go with as a fourth? My fourth line was Sterling Shepard, but I'm okay if there's somebody you feel better about.
I just see Tez Johnson being like, all right, so if Egbuka or like say they have Evans in, Egbuka was like the one that he would go like downfield to. If Egbuka is taking over sort of the Mike Evans role, I feel like Tez might be taking over the Egbuka role in terms of just like
Tez is definitely the yardage play. Sterling's the receptions play.
yeah. So I would do yardage because his yards is still 41.5. But if you can convince me about someone better, I'm all ears. The Sterling
No,
Shepard one is just scares me because he's still not even the lead guy. I
well,
know
he's never gonna be the lead guy. He's
he's
just
got the second
a
most
guy.
yards. He's got the second most yards on the team, but I'm talking about like usage wise, and I think they're giving this guy Tez. Last 3 games,
I'm good with Tez. Let's go with Tez.
all right, so for our 4 p.m. bet, we have K. Dotton over 39.5 receiving yards, Tez Johnson over 41.5 receiving yards, Tyler Warren over 59.5 receiving yards, and George Pickens over 57.5 receiving yards. So far, 2 bets, all receiving yards.
It's almost like we don't like running backs or anyone that runs.
We don't trust them, or we're actively avoiding them.
Yeah, I think I'm falling into your philosophy of like I like when people can get something in just 1 or 2 plays.
Awesome. I'm very happy about that. I think that made my
These are manageable receiver lines, so I like where we're going with them.
yes. And just as a reminder, and I'll try to keep reminding throughout all of these podcasts, if we fail to mention like what the odds are and things like that, honestly, the lines are constantly changing. We usually wait till like the day of to put these in, find the best lines on the book, and that way we can use one of their boosts that are available.
Boost your key. Yeah.
We highly recommend that, or no sweats if you guys go that route. I usually go that route just so I can get a second bite of the apple if the bet doesn't go
Because I
through.
know I'm gonna lose, so I like to double my odds. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, moving into 8 p.m., we have the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Green Bay Packers. Who do you like in this game?
We just saw the Steelers in a primetime game, and we chose poorly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to probably overadjust and immediately say I want to go with the Muth, Pat Fryer Muth.
The Muth.
The Muth is Luth, man. He was Luth last week. 19.5 is just the line that they have him at right now. Last week we tried to go with DK Metcalf and what seemed like a slam dunk, and Aaron Rodgers somehow forgot that he was on the team and just started feeding Pat Fryermuth over and over again. 5 catches for 111 yards. So I just want to ride the hot hand right now when he only needs 20 yards essentially to go through and cash this. So he wasn't doing it prior to that game, but with all that success, I find it hard to believe that he's just going to completely drop off the map entirely the very next week.
I love it. It also goes with our national tight end day. Yes. Can we just go back to back? Because I'm going to pick Tucker Kraft over 51 and a half receiving yards. This might be an all tight end parlay, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of tight ends already mixed in. I don't have any more tight end lines for my part of it for the rest of Sunday Night Football.
But I'll stick with Tucker Kraft. The guy's an absolute beast. I know Christian Watson is coming back. I was looking at his line. He's as the last time I checked, 19 and a half. That might have changed. Watson back in the lineup. Usually back in the lineup, guys don't like explode, but it does create more opportunities for the players that are actually like healthy and like have been sticking in. So if Watson is like somewhat of a decoy or a deep ball threat, maybe that will make some opportunities for Kraft. That's kind of my hope in that instance. But, he's been very solid the whole season. A great target for an offense that really doesn't have its identity yet because of injury and things like that. Something we talked about even before the season started. So Kraft has kind of been like a glue guy for them. So I'll go Kraft over receiving.
So you want to go with the leading receiver for the Green Bay Packers and Tucker Kraft, who just happens to be a tight end?
Pretty much.
I want to go with the second leading receiver for the Green Bay Packers, Romeo Doubs, over 51 and a half. Yeah, Doubs. I don't feel like I've used Doubs at all this year, and Doubs has been the most consistent, target outside of, I guess, Tucker Kraft. But obviously, he's a big part of, that offense consistently getting 7-8 targets like per game. Like he's always up there in the numbers, coming off of games of 58, 55, and 72. They set his line at 51 and a half. It just seems on par with what he would do. And I don't know, it's weird. Like I know it's not really a revenge game for Aaron Rodgers necessarily because he, just talks about how much fun he had while he was there. He has, good friends obviously within the Packers organization, but I do think there's going to be a little bit of like the new school, old school philosophy here. So I think Jordan Love's going to want to air it out a bit and have kind of a tit for tat game. So if Aaron Rodgers is going to be throwing bombs to Pat Fryermuth, and then we want to see Jordan Love kind of doing the same to his targets. So Tucker Kraft and Romeo Doubs.
I love it. All right, so I have a bunch. I'm excited to go. I don't know why I like this game so much. Let's start with one that you're gonna hate. I'm gonna go Josh Jacobs over 15 and a half receiving yards.
Of course you're gonna say receiving yards. Like I thought for a second, just a fleeting moment that you were gonna say over rushing, and I was like, oh look.
Okay, so far this season, he has gone. Let's see, 4, 0, 44, 71, 57, and 3. So
guess which one of those weeks we bet him?
The 4 or the 0? Again, I really like Jacobs. He was that guy last year. Obviously, he hasn't been super consistent, but he did have 3 weeks in a row outside of last week when they played the Cardinals in a game that shouldn't have been as close as it was. I trust kind of both running backs to have the opportunities to catch like those check down passes and stuff. I was looking at Warren too. Might come up again, but Josh Jacobs over 15 and a half receiving yards.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a rushing line.
What?
It's not Josh Jacobs though. It's actually Jordan Love.
It's Aaron Rodgers.
No, it's not Aaron Rodgers. Although his is so low that I actually contemplated him. I'm thinking, Jordan Love wants to show the old man why he's the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers because he can still move around a little bit outside the pocket. His line is set at just 12 and a half. He's gone over that for 4 straight. I think Love is trying to be more actively looking at opportunities to kind of run and extend plays. So I like him in this spot. At 12.5, I think it's a good number for Love.
I gladly see that there's no Matthew Golden rushing lines, which is fantastic.
Yeah, the week right after I try to bet it, they're like, we're just not going to even put those out there anymore. We don't even make the
Yeah.
mistake.
Yes, exactly. Good pick. The first rushing prop basically of the day.
Yep.
All right. I did say I was going to go another tight end line. Give me Darnell Washington over 19.5 receiving yards. I think it's going to be the Darnell game that I was hoping for last week. This is it. Um, these, you know what? I'll tell you right now, outside of Kraft, a lot of these lines are like 1 or 2 catch lines. The Muth at 21.5, which is the updated line. Darnell at 19.5. Jordan Love's 12.5. Jacobs 15.5. I like these lines because they're like right hovering around 20 and below. They could be done in one play. We could see like a halftime cash if we went with some of these lines. It's really the ones that are potentially can take all game or just not happen at all.
Where you try to say that Romeo Dobbs at 51.5. I mean, that's
Correct.
that's one
It's 50,
bomb.
52
Or
and a half.
okay. Potentially like it might take him 3 or 4 catches to get there.
Yeah. Or
All
one.
right, so I don't know if you're gonna love my last line or not.
Jesus Christ.
Fool me once, shame on you. If you fool me twice, fuck you. You go straight to the never again list. DK Metcalf over 54.5 receiving yards.
Yeah.
I feel like his line last week, because he'd been doing so well, was a little inflated. And then he finished with 50 yards. We kind of acted like he just wasn't involved. I mean, he did have 50 yards. It wasn't nothing. It just wasn't the number that we needed him to get to. So they've taken him back down to earth a little bit right now. The line that I had him at before, if it was 54.5, it might have changed a little bit, but much more manageable. Even if he has like kind of an average game for him, he should be coming right at that line. But I would think Aaron Rodgers isn't going to want to avoid his number one receiver back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
So maybe he's going to have him a little bit more involved in this one. But yeah, if it doesn't hit, then nominating in advance.
Yeah, no, I think there's a great bounce back opportunity for DK. This is the week he'll do it, and then we'll be mad that we didn't pick him. So
Or we
I'm
could.
cool. I'm cool with including him potentially in the parlay. I think that's it. I had one more, I believe. So my last one would be Jalen Warren over 20.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, I knew that was coming as soon as you
It
said
was
Jordan.
coming.
As soon as you said might have Jalen Warren pop back up. It
Yeah,
definitely
I
wasn't
mean,
going
who
to be for
knows?
his rushing yards.
No. I just looked at Dobbs's lines, and he's last 3 weeks 58, 55, 72. He is kind of our wide receiver one, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
for the team. I don't hate the line. I don't know how are the Packers against the run or against
Against
passing.
the run, do you care how they are against the run?
No, I just want to know how they are against like how's their defense ranked? Are people
Well, I
putting up a
remember
lot of points against them?
early on in the season, they were like the team that you just didn't want to start anybody as far as like a rushing line against, or really at all, because their defense was stacked. But they kind of fell off of that a
Oh yeah, the
bit.
Bengals tore him apart. Joe
Yeah,
Joe Flacco tore him apart.
yeah. I mean, even like Kyler Murray, kind of like the Cardinals, or no, sorry, Jacoby Brissett. Let me take that back. Jacoby Brissett had 279 and 2 touchdowns last week. So they had some success in the air with like Trey McBride, Zay Jones, Marvin Harrison Jr. So Packers secondary has given up, plenty of points, and that was to a backup quarterback, albeit
Mhm.
a very veteran backup quarterback. But yeah, man, I think it's a good spot for Aaron Rodgers to do some damage against his old team, and then vice versa. It could go either way, but I would expect a bit of a higher scoring affair in this one. I would love to see that. I'd love to see like a battle back and forth, like a game that's in the 30s at least.
Yeah, I want to take all of these lines, honestly. None of them are like
Yeah,
unobtainable.
sure.
Like if there was an overtime game, all of these lines would hit
Oh yeah, yeah.
potentially.
We'll pray for overtime.
Pray for overtime. We always do. All right, so I guess let's start it off with who do you like the most of your picks? Is it the Muth?
I mean, the Muth seems obvious. The only issue I have with Muth is just that it was kind of just a one time thing. So is he gonna, like I said, which I think he is, stay involved because of the success that he just had? And he's been involved like in prior seasons. He just hasn't been like a big target for him early. But yeah, I mean, I think for how low it is, I think you said it's 21.5 now. Like
Mhm.
that's so low. I mean, that's it's like 2 catches should be enough to get it done, if not more. So especially on the, tight end week. I think you gotta throw him in there.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, any of these tight ends are probably better for an anytime touchdown versus their yards, especially Darnell Washington was like, what do you have? 3 catches for like 2 yards and a touchdown last game when we had him for like 20.
Yeah, I think you
It
used
was
him a
bad.
lot because you were talking
I
about how big
did.
he is. You were very impressed with his size, but it
He's a
didn't
bi-
help.
he's a
He's a big boy.
beast.
Easy
He's a big
target
guy.
to tackle.
Exactly. All right. Well, is it the Muth or do we got someone else?
Let's go Frymouth. I mean, I like Frymouth and I like DK. Honestly, I think if we're gonna stick with some of the tight end stuff, if you like Kraft at the line that he's got, that one seems on par. I mean, Jordan Love's like a sneaky, like should be easy number considering he's gone over 12.5 for 4 straight games running. But I know it's always a little, gets a little dicey when you're talking quarterback runs. You're kind of just waiting for him to take off. But I mean, he could just take off once and hit it. So I like, how you like those one hitters.
I do like the one hitters. I'm trying to see. So Carson Wentz hit 12 yards of desperation against the Steelers when they played Drake May, who was known for using his legs. He had 45. But Love is not a scrambling quarterback. It is very much a like in desperation, I'm gonna run. That's not really a
It's
scrambling
not his
quarterback.
first thing. Yeah, it's not the first thing he
No.
wants to do, but he is consistently doing it recently more so. Like he's not trying to run for 40 or 50 yards, but he has taken off when the opportunity presents itself. I think let me just read off. So he's had 4, 7, 3, 4, 3, 3, like as far as carries, but 22 yards, 26 yards, 28 yards, 18 yards, and they had 12 the week before that. So there's only been one game, which was week 1, that he didn't hit double digits rushing
Yeah.
yards.
All right. I'll keep it. I like it.
Okay.
All right. So you want the Muth? You want Muth over Dobbs
It's a tough call, but
or Dobbs if we're gonna stick team wise? Do you want Dobbs over Love?
I think let's stick the Jordan Love rushing line,
Okay. I'll
and
take the
let's
Jordan
take
Love rushing
Muth.
him.
It's like it was
All
just
right.
a Steeler and a Packer. If you're trying to keep your symmetry, I think that's what you're going for.
I'm trying. I'm trying to craft here. So if we needed one more Steeler, one more Packer. I mean, what are we looking at Packers wise? We have a lot of Steelers lines.
I mean, I think you're either
How
looking at Kraft or you're looking at Dobbs. Like, so if you
Oh,
like
I
the
was looking
Tucker Kraft,
I was looking at Jacobs.
Jesus Christ. For Christian Watson, you also said, like, I mean, there are other options. You don't
You
have to
don't have to
necessarily
do
say,
it.
you don't have to do it, man. I feel like we're already getting a little cute with Jordan Love. Like, I don't know if we want to double down, but yeah, I mean, his receiving line is just so inconsistent. Like, he had 3 big games in the middle, and then he had 3 games where he just wasn't even targeted, really. It's
Yeah,
risky.
my only problem with Kraft is he's only smashed the line one time, and it was against your team.
Yeah, we give up to that a
So
lot.
his last 3 weeks were 56, 43, 58, which is right at his number, which is 52.5. So it's like we might have to wait all game for that to happen, or he's got to go on a tear, right?
You know
So
what?
I
Let's get cute with the Packers side of things. Let's go Love and let's go Jacobs.
okay, Love and
And then
Jacobs,
on the Steelers side of things, we go with Muth
Muth and
and
DK.
DK. Okay,
DK.
yeah.
All right, what were you gonna say?
No, that's good. Now those are obviously my 2 lines. So like, I like both of those Steelers picks. I was concerned, obviously, if you were going to throw it to Jalen Warren or something. So.
Oh, he will be in a parlay. Don't
Oh,
you
I'm
worry.
sure you will. I'm sure you will.
All right, so we're looking at Pat Fryermuth over 21.5 receiving yards, Josh Jacobs over 15.5 receiving yards, Jordan Love over 12.5 rushing yards, and DK Metcalf over 54.5 receiving yards. DK right now, it's plus 1,200 with no boost, no anything. So grab that if you can, or wait until a boost is available. I think the boosts are starting to be available, though. So you can
Yeah.
grab that. All right, now for our last parlay, which we forgot to do last week, but we did hit it, which is even really fun. But we're going to
Sorry
try
for-
to give it to you guys in advance, and then you guys can hit it
It's probably a
if
good
you end
idea.
up tailing us. So the All Day Parlay, which is one pick from the 1 o'clock, the 4 o'clock, and the 8 o'clock slate of games, 3 legs. This is basically to recuperate the money that we will potentially lose from the 3 different parlays that we have already talked about, not including Monday, obviously.
Sure.
So, real quick, who do you like from your first from 1 p.m.?
Well, the problem in looking at, like, our 1 p.m. picks, like
You like
Booty,
all of them?
Bijan, CMC especially, like, I like all 3 of those. I wish that they played at 1-4 in Sunday Night Football because I think that's a parlay that everybody should just put in right off the bat. Those 3 guys, 3-leg, do that. If you don't tail, like, everything else, tail that. But, I mean, I think it would be dumb not to just take CMC because he's never let us down. Bijan's line is obviously a little bit lower, but I think you just have to keep riding CMC.
There's no Pearsall yet, right? Is he still out?
He's out. He's out.
Okay. So then I feel very comfortable with CMC, even if it's like a slow start. His line did increase though, by the way, since we last looked. It's 47.5 on DraftKings now, which sucks.
Yeah, I mean they ruled Pearsall out officially later this
Mhm.
afternoon. So
Yeah,
that's probably where the
that's
adjustment came from. I mean,
most
it's
likely.
still
I'm still
CMC.
smashing it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's 1 o'clock. For 4 o'clock, I'm going to go left turn here. I know
Oh
you were
boy.
talking Otten. I think we have to go Pickens.
Yeah, I'm okay with Pickens. I was actually
Okay,
gonna
cool.
adjust myself to say Pickens.
Okay, just because he's been consistent, the passing game has been obvious, but also like he's playing some of the best football I've ever seen of him,
Yeah, I
like
mean,
for
well,
sure.
definitely.
All right, cool. So then that leaves the 8 o'clock. So who from the 8 o'clock do you like the most?
This one scares me probably the most.
100%.
I mean, I feel like Muth is the line that should hit the fastest. Just again, like I don't feel like you can have the type of production that he had last week and then just be a forgotten part of the offense the next week,
And in tight
especially
end
on tight
week,
end week.
National Tight End Day or
I think
whatever.
we got to throw in there. You have to have a tight end in the parlay. So
Mhm.
yeah, let's throw him in there. Those are our 3.
Okay, so let me pull this together on DraftKings just because it's convenient, not because we're going to end up actually using it. But as of right now, the 3 picks are CMC over 47.5 receiving yards, George Pickens over 57.5 receiving yards, and Pat Fryermuth, the Muth, over 21.5 receiving yards without a boost, which we will 100% add to this parlay. It's a 3-pick parlay at plus 592. So we'll throw a boost on there if available. Some books don't have like a requirement of like 4 legs or something like that. Maybe like a Bet365 or
Yeah, there's
something.
been a few lately that are just three legs or
Yeah.
above. So that's what we did last time. Worked
Yeah,
out.
exactly. So as of right now, $20 would win us about 140, which basically would cover our losses. So hopefully
It'll get us up to
these
the
legs.
200 with the boost. So we'll be all right.
Yeah. Now we've been in a situation where we've done this all day parlay and the first leg doesn't hit and then we're just screwed the whole rest of the week,
It's not fun.
rest of the weekend. It's not fun. But as of right now, that is our all day parlay. Thank you so much for listening. We've given you a ton of lines, but we've given you 4 actual 4-leg parlays for you to tail or not tail. You can follow us at Don't Tail This on Twitter and Instagram to see all of the bets that we're making from this account. Me and Ben are making a bunch of other bets that are really dumb. Don't tail those, especially those, because those don't hit. But you can email us your winnings, your stories, anything you want to share with us. Don'tTailThis@gmail.com. You can follow us on Spotify, on Apple, on iHeart. We're going to be on YouTube soon. Check that out. Follow there. Leave us a review, all that kind of stuff. And make sure to follow along on the social channels for our Monday Night Football bet. There's only 1 game this week, which scares us because we were going to hope that there was 2 games where we could pick like 2 legs from each game because we've been really striking out on Monday Night Football. We have to do something different this time
That's my
around.
team, so I'm even more terrified.
Oh, yeah. I'm just going all Chiefs lines for Monday Night Football. You'll see. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. And remember,
Don't tail this.
Don't Tail This is produced by Al Manarino and Ben Berkeson. Edited by Al Manarino. Theme song by Lucas Jones. Follow Don't Tail This on Instagram and Twitter at Don't Tail This. We are committed to responsible gaming. Please visit www.rg-help.com to learn more about the resources and helplines available. Never bet more than you can afford to lose. And always bet responsibly, which of course means don't tail this.